If you're here, you're probably rebuilding something. Maybe it's a life. Maybe it's a sense of safety. Maybe it's an identity that you didn't plan on losing. This video isn't about fixing that, and it's definitely not about pretending that everything happens for a reason. It's about telling the truth about what rebuilding after loss actually looks like, without toxic positivity, without timelines, and without pretending that strength means it didn't hurt. This channel is called the Reclamation Project because reclamation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about taking back what was always yours. After life, people, and circumstances tried to take it. Here we talk about grief that doesn't resolve neatly. We talk about loss that compounds, faith that survives questions, and resilience that doesn't look pretty on social media. If that's where you are in the right place. One of the hardest things about loss, whether it's death, divorce, abuse, or the collapse of a future that you had imagined, is that rebuilding doesn't feel heroic. It feels repetitive, it feels quiet, and it feels like doing the next right thing while still being very tired. Most people talk about resilience like it's a mindset shift, but in reality, it's often showing up when you'd just rather disappear. Rebuilding looks like learning who you are after what happened, grieving versions of yourself that don't come back, and carrying responsibility when your own foundation is cracked. And one of the loneliest parts of it, especially when you've always been the strong one, is when you suddenly are depleted and you need strength from another source. Toxic positivity tells us, be grateful. Everything happens for a reason. At least you learned something. But gratitude doesn't erase grief, and meaning doesn't cancel loss. You can be grateful and devastated, faithful and angry, strong and exhausted. Reclamation starts when you stop judging yourself for still hurting and start paying attention to what your feelings are actually trying to tell you. Reclamation isn't about going back to who you were, because, spoiler alert, that person doesn't exist. Not anymore. It's about deciding I will not let what tried to break me have the final say. Sometimes reclamation is loud, and sometimes it's choosing humor over despair. One of the phrases you'll hear from me a lot is, "Thank you. That's just what I wanted." At first, it started out as sarcasm, and then it became survival. Not because the situation was good, but because choosing how you meet it is a form of power. That's what resilience actually is. Not control over circumstances, but agency over your response. On this channel, you'll find reflections on grief and rebuilding, prayers, sometimes reverent and sometimes a little sharp, conversations about resilience without pretending, eventually stories from others reclaiming their lives after loss bit by bit. This isn't a space for fixing yourself. It's a space for standing back up at your own pace. If you're in a season of rebuilding, or if you've been carrying more than you let on, you are welcome here. If this resonates, please subscribe and stay. New videos will come gently, not constantly, but until then, stay unflappable. And when life hands you the unexpected, say thank you. That's just what I wanted.